Travis Wayne Goodsoul, desperately wanting to retire but not being allowed to do so. I've been telling you, they failed to destroy America in 2020. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I packed my book away, trying to retire. And so this year, I told you, they're doing it again. This time, they're going to make sure it happens. So anybody pay attention to what happened in 2020? The Exodus year of Jewish prophecy? That came to pass. The Christian prophecy is still yet, we're waiting. Maybe another couple centuries. This is how people keep people hostage. And this is a religion doing it. You don't catch on. They've got to give you a deadline. You can't just say, Jesus is coming, you better obey us. Jesus is coming, better pay us. No, you got to give them a date. Otherwise, people have to leave. So I'm wasting my breath. Nobody wants to watch my videos. Nobody believes. Everybody's in denial. Nobody wants to know the truth. I don't know why I'm bothering. So, in case you hadn't noticed, this year, again, we have the southern border migrants. We were told that they were going to start the Civil War. And yeah, there were a few instances of migrants in New York who were beating up police officers. And of course, Fox News said, this is it, it's Armageddon, we're all gonna die, Biden is sending us to hell. And it's been stopped. No more migrant issues in New York. And the border crisis, I haven't been hearing anything about the border crisis after Biden went back to Trump's policies on the border. So the migrants were a failed attempt to start the Civil War in America. MAGA supremacists have failed again to cause the Civil War. They're all cowards and wimps. MAGA evangelicals failed despite the church pushing for porn. Again, they failed. The MAGA government, even though the seditious conspirators and the pedophiles are still in Congress, they failed. But Marjorie's still trying to get Johnson fired for failure. The Supreme Court justices, they've been succeeding. They've been doing their job as they've been bribed to do. And then, of course, the Trump trials. His supporters are failing to protest. Climate crisis. Nobody cares about the climate crisis. Everybody just complains about the tornadoes destroying their homes. The flooding in California. But nobody's really protesting. Everybody's just taking it. And so Islam, finally, the church finally found a hitman that they had paid in advance, who are finally doing the job. Church is behind all of the payments for all of this. You're not going to watch my channel? You're just going to deny, huh? God. You know, it's just I am wasting my time with Mormons who want to deny the truth, deny that their own lives are in danger, and they are becoming weapons for the church. Dear God. And so, yeah. Again, this is not what they tell you it is. This isn't what the news is telling you it is. Fox is actually right on this one, which is scary. They are talking about the extermination of Israel. Because it doesn't make any sense to go to universities. Why are you going to the universities? Why aren't you going to Israel? Why aren't you going before the Israeli capital in Jerusalem and demanding the government cease fire? No, you're doing it elsewhere around the world. This is a strategy that Islam had been plotting and planning for. So, it's very important for the news to understand the signs and the flags that are being presented at these protests. At the Salt Lake County Jail, Utah is unique. They're weird Mormons, I tell you. They gave up on the University of Utah and are now going to the Salt Lake County Jail. That was right next door to my old home in 2022, where I was held hostage under Gail Miller's concentration camp of death. Anybody remember those days? No? Live coverage from the crime scene of the deaths. And everybody just lets everybody get away with their crimes. Helaman chapter 6. Mormons know what I'm talking about, but they're unhappy and they're storming away and leaving. You've exposed us! You're the liar! Really? Helaman chapter 6 is a lie, is it? Well, it doesn't mean us! Really? So you can do exactly what the Antichrist Korahors of the Book of Mormon did, but because you're Mormon, it's not what the Antichrist Anti-Mormon Korahors did? Bleep you. Bleep you all. You're all heading for destruction. Nobody cares. Here I am, the warning voice, wanting to retire, knowing the end is near, and everybody's rising up to murder themselves for the church. So yeah, from this river to the sea, I saw a new sign, Salt Lake County Jail, as I saw the one from the University of Utah, calling for the genocide of Israel and the genocide of Jews. Little Mormon kids, white Mormon kids, protesting for the death of Jews when they're clueless that the Book of Mormon is Jewish. Joseph Smith was Jewish. His church was Jewish. Yep, you don't care. Bleep Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon. Burn the Book of Mormon if it's not Christian. Just abominable. Just disgraceful. I have nothing nice to say to Mormons anymore. And notice, I have never pacified, flattered, and deceived Mormons. I offended Mormons with the truth. I call them out as evil, and they hate me for it. Nelson says, faith promotion, wear your bondage underwear, and they give him of their substance. Again, referring to the video I did this morning. So yeah, the world is descending into chaos and nobody cares to see it. So another one I saw was a big gold flag demanding to free Palestine. Really? Palestine are being held hostage? I thought it was Hamas still holding over 300 hostages. And Americans are being held hostage too. Nobody wants to acknowledge October 7th. Fox did. Fox interviewed one of the protesters, asked her about October 7th, and she stormed away angry. You can't deny the truth. This is the plot of Islam. And so, yeah, the flag also said apartheid for Israel. Really? Do you know what apartheid means? Anybody familiar with South Africa? And so, yes, under the definition of apartheid in South Africa, in parentheses, a policy or system of segregation and discrimination on the grounds of race. Isn't that great? Death to the Jews, segregation and discrimination against Israel. This is an all-out war, and our government is not doing the job that they need to be done. Everybody is using the cover of freedom of speech to demand the murder of Israel, to demand the hostage of Israel, to demand Israel lay down and surrender. So in 2020, we had the typical women's march since Trump took office, but that's all it is. It's just women gather together and have girls' night out for a whole day. Getting into the Guinness Book of World Records. Because it does nothing. Year after year they do it, nothing gets done. And in fact, have you not paid attention, women? Your protests have led to you being punished by our government. You're not catching on to this? The Supreme Court overthrows Roe v. Wade. You knew it was coming. You knew once Trump took office, it was coming. You knew when they were having the hearings for confirmation in the Senate for the Supreme Court justices. You knew it was coming. You did nothing. You didn't prepare. You didn't make sure that you were protected. You let it happen. You knew it was coming, and you let it happen. And now that it happened, you complain, and there's nothing you can do. You're back into silence. Have all of these centuries of suppression and oppression have just made you weak? That you cannot defend your liberty and freedom? Because the Me Too movement made it very clear that you're bottling up a lot of anger. Wasn't that in 2020 also? Well, it says the Me Too movement started in 2006, but when was the big purge? 2018? Okay. So 2 years before. Yeah, because Harvey Weinstein got out on a technicality. And so, yeah, again, all of these things are designed, planned, orchestrated against you to rile you up to war, and nothing was working. 2020 was a failure. The powers that be failed to get the Civil War to destroy the government. January 6th, a failure. They quit. They didn't keep going. They had it, and they quit. And so remember 2020? This was in 2020. The Black Lives Matter protests. Anybody remember? Governor Herbert said they were terrorists. You're not allowed to protest in Utah, so you're a terrorist. You sue the church in Utah, you're a terrorist. Yep. Salt Lake County Jail also used to be my home for 7 months. With Brian David Mitchell, Curtis Allgaier, and a whole bunch of cast of characters. And for what? I protested. I filed a petition for a redress of grievances. Peacefully, legally. And it's still a crime in Utah. It's still terrorism in Utah. There's a big difference. And so, yeah, the Black Lives Matter protesters, again, blacks, you failed. Sorry. I guess 600 years of oppression and slavery is beating you down. You couldn't do it. You couldn't make sure that you stood strong to defend your rights and liberties. You gave up. And you've been punished. Because just in the news last week, again, another innocent, unarmed black man, while locked up in chains, shot by police, murdered. They haven't stopped. Why have you stopped? You didn't cause change. The whole purpose is to cause change. Are you afraid to be a martyr? And so, yeah, Islam is finally doing it. But it's flipping the script this time. In 2020, it was Trump. And so, blacks were considered the terrorists when they were just wanting to be left alone by the police. To have freedom and liberty and equality. But now Islam is not fighting for their freedom. They're fighting for the genocidal murder of Israel. And it's a Democrat president who's aiding and abetting. Trying to appease both sides so that he can get elected, because we don't want Trump. Trump just had a Time magazine interview in which he's now declaring he's going to get revenge. We all knew this. He's been telling us forever since the loss. The whole loss was purposely designed. I told you. It was suspicious. He was setting it up for the Hunter Biden just like in the 2016 election. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you can find. And so he's pulling the same stunt in the 2020 election, this time with Hunter Biden. And then he goes silent for the October surprise. He doesn't give the October surprise. He purposely tanked his support. And so here we go again, tanking his support. This time he's got the cover of trials. I need to be out on the campaign trail. I can't be stuck in court. This is politically motivated. I'm running for president. He set it all up from the beginning. We knew this was going to happen. And they waited 4 years to take it to court. All of them, 4 years. Oh my God. We're all being set up for doom. The FBI is failing to do their job. Merrick Garland. What the hell? We put you in to do this, and you're saying, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm washing my hands of the whole thing. I'm going to get special counsel to do it. We put you in to do it, and you didn't. You hesitated. You appointed other people. You want nothing to do with it. You're washing your hands as Pontius Pilate. Oh my hell. Pontius Pilate was not a Jew. He was a Roman. Merrick. Dear God. And now Jews are in great jeopardy, and he's still going silent. I saw one sign that said, "Silence is violence." Way to go, Merrick. You've betrayed the Jews. You have become Judas. This is the sad reality, that when people in position to do something, when presented with the opportunity to show their true nature and character, we are not seeing anybody standing up like we did in the 2020 election, which upset Trump bigly. Bigly been put in the Webster's dictionary yet? And so, yeah, the Black Lives Matter protest for 2020, anti-Semitism for 2024. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints came out in 2020 and said that the Black Lives Matter protesters needed to submit and stand down. Remember that? No? So what did they say about this year? I've already been doing the videos. Oh God, nobody cares. And this is going way too long for an audience that doesn't care. YouTube is flattering, pacifying, and deceiving me with ghost subscribers. As the views are tanking. I mean, YouTube can fix the problem. They know how to do the system accurately so that I know actual stats, real-time stats. And they've said, bleep you, Travis. We're not going to help you with your channel. I don't know if others are experiencing the same problems I am, but such is the case. Yeah. The church this year have been supporting Ramadan. Supporting Israel. Remember? They set it all up. They're anti-Jew. Silence is violence. And the church paid the Judas price to betray the Jews. And apparently they've got the Jerusalem Center back up and running again, along with the Ukrainian temple. What's up with that? Because it's supposed to show that it's closed. Nope. And that even leads to more suspicion, because if the Ukrainian temple is literally open, as it's not far from the capital is being bombed, and yet the temple's open? See, this is where you go, wait a minute, okay, wait. Nelson paid Putin for a temple. We still don't have that temple, but Putin then went and attacked Ukraine. And the church has got the temple open in Ukraine. And the Russians aren't bombing it like they did all the other churches in Ukraine. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is not being bombed like the other churches in Ukraine. Anybody remember their World War II history in Nazi Germany? Everybody but the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was attacked. You're not seeing the pattern. History is repeating itself, and nobody sees it, not even the press. Yeah, I did find it interesting that KUTV2, the other day, yesterday, or the first day, said it was a pro-Palestinian protest. But then the one I saw this morning, they called it an anti-Israel protest. But when you go to the actual video, their little bar thing across the screen says pro-Palestinian again. Oops. Somebody else typed in the YouTube video. So, like I said, they are desperate to have their final solution that they failed in 2020. And it will get uglier. I mean, I can quote Albert Pike's letter for you if you still don't believe. But what's the point? I'm just talking to a camera that likes to freeze. Which it didn't. What's up with that? Why Mormons? Why?